All right, so we are on, and it's Tuesday. I don't even know what it is. March something, 20 something, 22nd, March 22nd. And as always, thank you guys for taking some time and jumping on. Teresa, don't crash while you're on your driving in your car. But thank you guys, as always, for being here. Last week, it's kind of crazy. Last week, if you guys are noticing, like your cycles kind of changing and things not as active as sometimes they can be, and that sort of thing. I want you to realize that we can see different things in our team and things that are trending. And last week was pretty busy. This week has been a little bit slower. So if you're above the curve this week, that's great. If you're a little bit below what you would expect your normal curve to be, you're on track, you're normal.
Brent?
Because we're kind of noticing that. Yeah, I'm gonna mute here. Hang on.
Yeah, something's not up.
Yeah, no worries. Mute all. Yes. Okay. So just know that know that it's cyclical, right? Dan sent me a message the other day, and he said, "So when do you when does it get out of your head that at any moment that everything that you've worked for is going to fall apart?" Right? You're cycling, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, whatever it is. At what point do you shake it out of your head that, oh my gosh, what's going to happen on Monday, right? You watch your cycles rock all week or do whatever they happen all week long. Sunday comes, it's midnight Eastern Standard Time, and all your centers drop down to 0, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this all over again all week long. Can I make it happen all over again and all over again and all over again? And I want to give you a little bit of something to think about. You will have that in your stomach, I guess, until 2 things happen. One, you become if any of you've been to David Wood training, you'll know he'll ask you what is your level of belief in the company and in yourself and in your business. And when you're at a 10, a true 10, you don't ever think that. You don't ever wonder, oh, is it going to happen? Are my cycles going to happen this week, or am I going to do okay? You don't have that. So when you're a true 10, you just know what's going to happen, right? I'm a 9.75. Okay. I believe in everything about this business. I believe in the company. I believe in the people. I believe in the team. But there's that 0.25% of me that I get that same thing. Sunday it goes to 0, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. It's gotta get up and rocking again. So don't feel bad or don't feel odd if you don't have, or if you have those feelings, if you have those thoughts, right? The next thing that's going to help with that situation in your brain is, sorry, I'm plugging in the computer here, is if and when you get to the point where you have a real solid team underneath of you, where there are people under you, where you have a solid team under you that they are out there and they're working, and you've got to get depth. And there's a book called The 45-Second Presentation. And for those of you who have not read it, I would tell you to get it. It's called The 45-Second Presentation. And it talks about getting your levels deeper, right? And what that means is, I'm 100% certain of a couple things, right? My sister, April, she's got it down, right? She knows how to do the business. I've seen her coach, right? So now I go to the next level, and I'm using this as just one example. So one of her personally enrolled is Jessica. Jessica's got it down. She is 100% committed, right? I've seen April teach. I've seen April teach Jessica. I've seen Jessica do coaching. So I know that we're good to 2 levels. I know that Jessica has coached with several people that are even on this call, but I haven't seen that coaching but I've seen the results of that coaching. And as those results continue to go down go down in depth, then you realize that you've got a solid line of business owners there, right? And I can do that in different sections, right? We've got different executives that I can go down through each of those and say, look, this is the depth on this one. This is the depth on that one. And that's where you're going to get additional comfort, is when you can look at your team and you can say, look, I know that this person knows what they're doing. Not by their rank, right? Doesn't matter. The rank is kind of secondary, quite honestly. It's by you believe, you know that they have your same core belief system, and you know that you've transferred that to them, and you've watched them transfer that core belief system to somebody else. And by the book says you want to be 5 layers deep. So if you can kind of imagine, and the visual that they give you is, if you can imagine a pot of water, right? And underneath that pot of water, you have a single fire, just one small fire. And then you line that fire, you got a little bit of fire here, and fire below, and fire below, and fire below. So all that heat is coming straight up, right? Well, now imagine getting it across as well. So instead of just heating in the middle of the pan, but now you've got 5 burners across, and you've got 5 burners down. Now you've got real heat. Okay. If you just got 5 burners straight across, you don't have as much heat as you do if you've got 5 little fires burning across and then 5 layers going down. All that heat's coming up. Compare that kind of heat, right? And you are the pan. You are the water in that pan, right? Imagine that design I just gave you, where you've got a pan of water, and that's you, and underneath there is 5 layers across and 5 layers deep of heat coming up. Compare that to you're that same pan, and let's say and you guys are all this way. I'm part of the upline, right, if you will. I hate using that term, but I'll use it. And I'm just shining down on you, and I'm telling you, hey, look, guys, this is what you need to do, and I'm pouring all this heat down to you, right? Which one is going to get that pan boiling faster? Me shining down that heat upon you and provide you with all that information, or those 5 layers across and 5 layers deep of all that heat coming up, right? So all that heat coming up is what's going to cause that pan to boil. It's going to cause that water to boil. And until you have that, then you're going to have this sensation, this feeling that at any moment, you're and I don't like the word, but the phrase, but I'll use it, is your house of cards, if you will fall, right? And until you get that real true belief, and that true belief comes from repeated action, and it comes from that level of heat, that's when the pressure kind of comes off a little bit, and you just realize that you're a rolling boil, and you can stay that way for a very, very long time. And that's something that has come up in a few conversations that I've had. It was sparked again by the conversation I had with Dan, and his comment. And I told him straight up, I was like, yeah, when you figure out how to get that completely out of your head, you let me know. And so it made me think a lot about what causes that. And so that's my kind of little bit of inspiration that I'll pass on to you tonight before we get into the rest of the training. But think about that, and I encourage you to get that book, 45-second presentation. It's an easy read. It's get it in paperback, or you can probably get it on one of the audio books if you're an audiobook reader. But it actually is something that's worth taking notes on, and I would encourage you to take a look at that. Okay. Any questions on that design? Did anybody not get that idea, or does anybody have any questions about that? No? Okay, cool. All right. I got thumbs up. Sweet. So from there, let's talk a little bit about celebration. So celebration's coming up. I know that a lot of people have seen, we posted on Team Shady and a couple other pages about the discount tickets that Isagenix is going to offer tomorrow. For those of you that have bought your tickets, you didn't miss out on anything by buying your tickets early. You simply purchased your tickets when you should have, And Isogenics is offering this as, and the way I look at it is Isogenics is offering this as an incentive for you to reach out to your team and say, hey, look, I had to pay $170 for these tickets or whatever it was, and now these tickets are available at this price. This is the time to get in. And encourage your team to buy their tickets. The bigger your presence is, and Jill Bowman told me this a long time ago, and I fought the belief in it because I didn't think it was true, is if you get to those presentations, if you get to these events, and I call these, unlike a house party or unlike even a local party where the event's in your town, if you go to what they call a destination event, so a place that you actually have to rearrange your life in order to attend, right? You have to find babysitters. You have to find an agreement between you and your spouse, and hopefully your spouse can go. That makes it so much better. It'll make your experience overall better. But if you have to make some arrangements, you have to make some personal sacrifices to get to one of these events, you will get so much more out of it than if you just wait for it to come to your town, right? And because you are going to go to one of these events, and the only thing that you're going to do when you're there is be present at the event. And if you get there, that's fantastic. But if you get there, just like I gave the analogy with the little the rolling boiling water, right? If you can get there and get your friends to get there with you and get your team to get there with you, then that is when you're going to get that heat under you, and that is when you're going to really find the success that you get from this business. And because this is a business call, I want to give you some numbers, right? Tracy and I went to our first event in August 2014. I got to ask her, right? I don't remember shit. But so we went in 2014. I had started my portion of the business, my attempt at running the business started in 2013. So for those of you that don't know, right, started in March 2013, the business side. And I went that full year, and I didn't believe this whole thing about, well, you got to go to an event to get your team, to get yourself better, and you've got to go to an event to get your teammates better. And Jill told me, she goes, for every person that you bring to an event, you can add $1,000 to your end of year bottom line. I think it's higher than that. I think the number is bigger than that. So for every person that you can get to show up, expect your bottom line at the end of the year to increase by $1,000. I would almost say that realistically, that number turns into about $1,000 a month. That's what I believe. Okay. That's the kind of power that you get from this. And here's why I say that. Because in August 2013, I think we made about $4,000 or $5,000. No, not even that much, because that was before we get executive. So I'd say we made a couple $1,000s in 2013. In August 2014, we were making about, on average, our average was rolling around $20-something thousand a month. So we went from about $4,000 a month average to about $20,000 a month in 2014. In 2015, our average was about 30. Well, the high, let's call it the high 20s to low $30,000 a month, right? On average, because I know what we made for the year, right? And I'm figuring what we made in 2015 for the year. So, and in this year, I know it's going to be more than that because the team has grown. But with that, and I don't tell you that to brag, I tell you that because in network marketing, we celebrate income, right? We celebrate having conversations and having real conversations with people and with your family about what money is, right? Because I grew up in a family where we never talked about money, ever. My mom and dad never talked about it. They didn't have any, but they never talked about it. And maybe that's why we didn't talk about it, because it was a source of problem, not a source of something to celebrate. So with my family, what Tracy and I do with our son is we talk about it. We talk about it openly. We talk about goals, and we talk about what money means, and we talk about what that gets you. And we don't talk about it in an arrogant, disposable way. We talk about it in a real way of what it looks like, and the fact that we're blessed because of some great things that have happened, and because of a lot of hard work. Right? There's no BS about that. It is a lot of work. But just know that these events mean a lot, guys. And the more of your team that you can get to go to these events, when you're sitting in that chair and you're looking around at your people that are with you, and you see that they're part of your personal team that are there, you can bet that means big things for your future. I'm telling you, write a check on it, count on it. It's true. Okay. So anyway, so that's my thing on celebration. With that, I want to give you guys some goals. I don't want to give you goals. I want you to think about some goals. I want you to jot down, and this is going to head towards our conversation we're going to end up having, the interview that we're going to do with Michael Custodi. What I want to encourage you to do is write down your financial goals. Okay. And I don't mean $10,000 a month, right? Or $5,000 a month, or $1,000 a month, or $100,000 a month, or $1 million a year. I want you to write down, I want you to figure out what it really takes. Because if you don't know your numbers, you're throwing darts in the dark. Okay. Know what it costs for you to exist in your current state of life. What does it cost? What is your real number? Is your current monthly outgo to live the life that you're living, and I'm talking about your utility bills, your gas bills, your insurance, everything that you have, do you know what that number is? And do you know what it costs for you to be where you're at today? And I mean exactly. If it's $8,432 for the month, then that's what it is, right? Know what it is, and don't be shy about writing it down. If that's what it is, and don't sit there and go, well, this month was kind of high, and I kind of spent a little bit more this month, or I want to average out for the year. Take your highest month of the year if you're going to do that. The highest month. Know what that number is. Now, I want you to think about what it would feel like if you had double that much money coming into your household. Okay, so whatever that number is, if that number is $5,232 a month, then I want you to think what it would feel like to have $10,464 a month, right? I think that's what I said. So if you know that, then you can write that number down, and now you've got a real goal that you can look at. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to think about that goal, and I want you to take that number, and I want you to divide that number by 54. Okay? Because the number divided by 54 is the number of cycles a month that it would take you to have that. Okay? Know the number of cycles, isogenic cycles, that it would take you a month to have it. And some of you that are on this call may not be at that point yet where you're thinking, oh, isogenics can take over and can pay for everything, can pay for all of my bills, and can really be my job, if you will. Maybe you're just at that point where you're thinking you just want to have the extra income to maybe pay for a credit card, or pay for a house payment, or pay for your product, right? But if you know each one of those numbers, because we all start the same way. Step one, I ain't doing this business. That's step one for 99% of the people. I ain't doing this business. This isn't for me. I don't do network marketing. I'm not going to share it with anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. That's where I'm at, right? That's everybody's step one. Step two is, well, if I can pay for my product, then that would be nice. If I can cover the couple $100 a month that I'm spending, then that would be great. And then when your spouse starts eating it, and then your kids start eating it, then you go, oh, well, if I can make the $1,000 a month that I need to cover my product, that would be great. And that's okay. If that number is a moving target, it's all right. But know what that number is, and know what the number of cycles per month that you have to have is, so that you can target it, right? Write it make a little target on your bathroom wall, and write it on that target. Write it in the center of that target. If that cycle number is 10 a month, if it's 20 a month, if it's 50, if it's 100, whatever it is, write it down, right? And then the closer you get to that target, then the more focused that you will become, and the more focused that you become, the more you're going to continue to push towards that success, okay? So I really want to encourage you to do that. And Jill Bowman and I were just talking before I got on the phone with you guys. And one of the things I want to ask that you do is I want you to email, or actually email them to me. I'd like you to email to me, not to Cody, or you can actually email them to me or Tracy if you feel more comfortable. But to either me or Tracy, email me your goals, right? Email me the goal that you have and send it to either Brent, B-R-E-N-T, at teamshadystyle.com, or send it to Tracy, T-R-A-C-E-Y, at teamshadystyle.com. Send it to us, okay? And what we would like to do is we want to kind of keep those goals aware of what they are, and maybe be able to send them back to you at some point and say, look, you checked it off and you may have forgotten it, right? So send that goal to us, your financial goal, right? This is a business conversation. We're not talking about, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to dismiss it, but we're not talking about weight loss. We're not talking about product conversation. This is a straight up, Brent, this would be my financial goal and I would like to get it. And then the next thing I want on that financial goal is I want a real live date. And I mean a date, like December 1st, 2017, whatever it is. And be aggressive. Dream a little bit. Get the little lizard off your shoulder that talks trash to you, and brush him off your shoulder, and dream a little and think about what that number looks like if you really went after it, what you think you could do, okay? You may not be ready to really go after it just yet, but if you really went after it, what would it look like, okay? So I really want to encourage you to do that. Tracy and I had a long conversation about this, and Tracy's way better at it than I am as far as tracking and writing these things down and being aware of them. But some of you don't realize it, but she's got goals that you've sent and you've posted in different places on the Facebook pages and stuff like that. And we are doing some stuff with those things. Apparently my dog sees something. We're aware of what those goals are, and we're tracking them. And it's interesting to watch them continue to come into reality. So anyway, that's my comment on that. Any questions on that before I move on to the next topic? Anybody got anything?
What are the dates for the actual conference?
The celebration?
Yeah, the celebration. What are the dates for the celebration? Oh, and where is it again this year?
It's in Las Vegas, and Isagenix, in case you aren't aware, Isagenix has reserved Maroon 5 to come and play for us. And some of you have already received the tickets for that, and some of you will receive tickets for that. And if you want the date for that, then I'm going to have to look over the top of my computer at my wife and say, when are we going to Vegas? So when are we going to Vegas?
No, it's okay. If you haven't bought your tickets, then
I got it. She's right here. August. If somebody else knows, shout it out. 7th to the 10th. August 7th to the 10th in Las Vegas. And it's actually going to be at the Venetian, but Vicky Lenkowski, who I don't see her on the call, but she could be on the second page. She has gotten the rooms across the street at Treasure Island. So if you're looking for a discounted room, contact Vicky. She has the in to some discounted rooms across the street. I will tell you, because we were at the Venetian just about a month ago, the walk from what we can see, what it will be, you're looking at, it's not crazy, it's probably 10 minutes, right? A walk. So you're gonna you'll walk out of Treasure Island, about a half a block down the street, up over an overpass that walks you across the street, and then back down onto the sidewalk level and then into the Venetian. So it's about a 10-minute walk at most from Treasure Island to the Venetian. So that's how that works out.
And where do you buy tickets if you have not bought tickets?
Tomorrow, there will be tickets available on in the back office. I will repost, or we'll bring it back to the top of the Isogenics events. Is that where it's going to be at for the discounted ones?
Well, when you click on that, it sends you to your back office.
Okay, so if you go to your back office and go under orders, or go directly to www.isogenicsevents.com, and that will get you there as well, Tracy.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely.
And then I know you had information that are you going to put your email address as to where we send it?
Send the goals.
Yeah, send the goals.
Yeah, and I'll tell you again, but I'll tell you it again. It's Brent, Brent, at teamshadystyle.com. Brent at teamshadystyle.com. And I will repost that on the team page, or on the message. Are you in the messenger group, Tracy?
Not now, but I have paper, so.
Okay. All right.
No
Cool.
big deal.
All right. Very good. Any other questions? Cool. By a raise of hands, because the people that are on here, raise your hand if you know you already have tickets to Maroon 5. Keep them up. Nice. That's awesome. I love it. Melanie, are you raising your hand because you're telling me that you got the tickets, or you raise your hand because you have a question? You have a question? There you go.
No, I don't have a question. I got the tickets.
Outstanding. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And I have an extra one because
Nice. Even better. Well, bring somebody. Bring somebody from your team. Tempt them by the Maroon 5 tickets. That's
well, Priscilla and Yolanda are on here, so
Yeah?
I know they want to go.
All right. Well, that works then. Bring them. All right. So let's go to. I'm going to go to two more things, and then we're going to do the interview sheet last. Team and understanding a team. And I'm going to try not to go too deep into this, but I want you to understand this. And the reason I want you to understand this is we had a couple things that happened this week on some of the teams that made me realize how much people don't realize the importance of your team. When you think about something, right? When you think about something that's going on in your world, right? With your Isogenics world, the first thing I want you to think about is, before you think about anything else, before you think about your own personal cycles, or before you think about how it's going to benefit you, is I want you to think about, how will this benefit my team? Okay? How will this enrollment best benefit my team? How will this action that I'm going to take best benefit my team? The importance of you understanding this is huge, guys. When you're a manager, well, actually, when you're a consultant, when you're a manager, when you're a director, and when you're an entry-level executive, meaning that you're cycling less than 20 times a week, your income is dependent upon your personal cycles. Okay? That's it. Has nothing else. It's just your personal cycles. So your personal cycles are going to dictate that. But when you want to make, and that's where you're going to make some money, right? You're going to make some money at consultant. You're going to make some money at manager. You're going to make some money at director, and it's some good money at director if you're hitting the bonuses. And you're going to make some money at entry-level executive, and it's pretty good money because you're in the pools for the first 6 months, or you can be in the pools for the first 6 months of entry-level executive. But when you want to make real money, the only way, and you got to keep this in your mind, no matter whether your team is just you right now, right? Whether you're rolling in with a party of 1, or you're rolling in with a party of 100, or 1,000, or 10,000, or 16,000, you've got to realize that when the money is going to show up in a big way is when you have a team. And when your team sees that you support them, and sees that you are willing to help them, and sees that you're willing to give to them to help them succeed. And when I say give to them, I don't mean giving them people. I mean giving them support, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. You don't ever give away your people. If you've got somebody that comes along to you that wants to get enrolled, don't give them away. I can tell you right now, no matter how good of friends I am with Steve, if he says, Brent, I need a person, I'm going to coach him. I'm going to show him. I'm going to share with him. And I'm going to encourage him, but I'm not giving him a person. It's not going to happen. And the reason for that is that it's that whole, give a man a fish, right? That whole thing, right? So don't give away a person, but share with people on how to grow their team and understand that that team means a lot to you, your financial future, the financial future of your family and your financial future in this business if you're really going to do this business for the long run. And when I say the long run, I want you to be thinking about a 5-year plan. Okay, 5 years. Are you willing to dedicate 5 years towards this opportunity to give you a level of income that you desire? And everybody's got a different desire level, right? I'm not telling you what your desire level should be. I'm just telling you, you've got to know that number. That goes back to knowing that number and giving yourself 5 years to obtain it. Okay, in incremental steps with small goals along the way, right? So know that your team is where it's at. Everything is about your team. Everything is about your team. I can't stress that enough, guys. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, if somebody says, hey, look, if somebody on my team is throwing an event and I can be there, I'm there. I don't care if I'm the only one there. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to fill the seat with them. If they're down the street from me, I'm going to be there. If they're across town from me, I'm going to make plans that I'm going to do everything I can to be there. If you choose, and I'm not telling you what you have to do because this is your business, but if you choose to go to the park and go hang out, go drink or go party, or just sit at home and watch TV while one of your teammates is having an event, that's your decision. But just know that that decision has consequences. And those consequences might be that your team doesn't grow as fast as you'd like it to grow. Because remember, when you're throwing the party and you're throwing the event, you want people to show up. And when they're throwing the party and they're throwing the event, they want people to show up too, even if it's just for that moral support. And I'm telling you guys, it's important, right? Don't blow that off. It's a big deal, okay? All right. Because I know we've got some people on here that they're kind of new to the page. I want to roll through the basics and then we're going to do the interview. So the basics are this, and it's important that you guys all know. In fact, Danny, unmute yourself, Danny.
What's up?
Give it up. What is go through the basics. Preferred customer, associate, consultant, manager, director, executive. Let's hear them. What does it take?
Be a preferred customer is pretty much somebody you're enrolling that doesn't want to part with their social security number. They're just going to be a product user. They'll never be able to get anything from Isogenics in terms of income. For that reason, because you have to give your social security number so Isogenics can send you a 1099. They're not going to give you money and not have you claim it. So when you're an associate,
let me ask you a question on a preferred customer. So on a preferred customer, Danny, and this isn't a trick question. I'm hoping that we both have an understanding of this. If somebody's going to enroll with you and they don't want to give up their social security number, they want to be a preferred customer, which is fine. Which leg do you put them on?
your inside leg.
Either that, which is generally the case, but I would, and I don't use this term often, but on your lowest volume leg. Okay? And the reason I say that is because that is a person who's just going to buy product, and you're going to put that preferred customer always put a preferred customer on your lowest volume leg, because there is no reason, and I'm talking about the lowest volume leg of that day. If your legs switch back and forth, pick the lowest side that day. Okay?
Okay.
Just know that that's where that person goes, because that is a volume individual only, and the only thing that they're going to be able to provide you with is volume, because they cannot become an associate unless they log. Actually, I'll ask you this. So when can a preferred customer become an associate?
When they want to supply you with their social security number.
Do you know how they can do that? Do you know the answer to that?
I'm assuming they can just call Isogenics customer service and probably have that taken care of.
It's easier than that. All they've got to do is click at the go to their back office. At the very top of their screen, they'll see a button that says My Account.
Yep.
My Account button, and edit their tax information.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Michael Custodi, does that answer your question, or did you have a question? I got it. Okay. Cool. All right. Go ahead, Danny. Finish up. Or keep
Okay.
going.
So to be an Isogenics associate, you have to enroll with your social security information on auto ship, and order 100 BV every 30 days as a minimum BV order to maintain your active status.
Correct.
To be a consultant, you have to personally enroll 2 associates on auto ship, and they can be on either leg, your right leg or your left leg, doesn't matter. Just 2 personally enrolled. Well, let me rephrase that. 1 on your right, 1 on your left, personally enrolled associates. And to be a manager, you have to have 2 consultants, and they can be on either your right leg or your left leg. That's 4 personally enrolled, And to be a manager, you have to have 2, personally enrolled consultants, and they can be on either leg.
Correct.
To reach the rank advancement of director, that's 6 consultants, and again, they can be on any leg. They could all be on one side or the other, or 3 and 3, or 2 and 4, 5 and 1. And then to be an executive, you have to have 5 personally enrolled consultants, 10, 5 on each leg, 5 on the right and 5 on the left.
Correct. And they all, and at each one of those, just so everybody's understanding the same, at each level, all of those consultants have to be active at the exact same time in order to be qualified to be that level. So if you're eligible for, let's say, the director, because the director, for those of you that have been with Isogenics longer than January 11th of this last year, you currently have until, I don't know the exact date, but I think it's the middle of June in order to make director. And that means that you need to have 6 consultants active at the exact same time in order to make that director bonus. Now, you could conceivably become a director for just 1 day and make that bonus. Okay, so if you need to fire something up and make it happen, I'm going to encourage you to do it because it's worth $750. However, just know that in order to be in the director pools, you have to stay active for entire weeks of the month. Okay, and an entire week means from Monday at midnight 01, Sunday night, Monday morning, whatever, until the following Sunday night. So you have to be active the entire week in order to qualify for the pools when you get to director and executive. So if, let's say you become an director on Monday, that doesn't count as an entire week, or Wednesday or Thursday or Saturday or whatever. That doesn't count for the week. You have to be of that rank for the entire week in order to qualify for the pool bonuses that come at director and executive. Okay. Any questions on, and thanks, Danny, very much for playing along with that. And you did great, brother. So are there any questions about those basics? Nothing? Cool. All right. So I won't go into the pools or anything tonight because we're rolling into 6:40, and but I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of those basics and how that works. Okay. And if you ever have questions, I want you to feel free to reach out to your first line executive and ask them. You know, when you've got to place somebody on your left or your right, or you're just not sure, the most important thing I can tell you, because I actually had to help somebody get this move the other day. When you're coaching people, the most common mistake that happens is somebody goes in and does their own enrollment and they don't put the person in the correct position. Part of your job as a leader is, if you're on this call, if you're watching this, you need to have ISAPulse on your phone, okay? www.isapulse.com, and you can download it onto your phone. What that's going to tell you is when anybody in your first 4 PET, thank you, Heidi, exactly, your first 4 PET reaches out and says, or it does an enrollment, you're going to get a notification of that. And what I'm going to tell you to do is, as soon as you see that notification for practice or anything else, I want you to go to that person's page in your back office. I want you to scroll down to their name, and I want you to see if they put the person in the right spot. Okay? What happens often is people enroll somebody in one of the unoccupied positions. Don't ever enroll somebody in an unoccupied position unless you know why you're doing it. There are some strategic reasons that will come to you when you reach closer to 2-star, 3-star world. But initially, until you're in that 2 or 3-star world, you should never be enrolling somebody in a spot that says unoccupied. Your spots say recommended. It says sponsor new associate in this position recommended. And you always have a recommended right, and you always have a recommended left. You just need to know how to negotiate or navigate down to that spot. Okay, there's a couple ways to get there. You can either click the little button that says bottom left, bottom right, or if you click on the squares on your tree, you'll see that it will refresh, bring the square that you clicked on to the top, and it'll let you see further and further down your tree. So if you're looking at your right and your left and you see people that you don't know, that's a good thing. That means that somebody above you is helping you, or somebody below you is helping you build your team. So know that when you see people below you that you don't know, that's a positive, good thing, right? And, but yeah, so ISAPulse is a huge deal. If somebody on your team enrolls somebody and you do not check it and they're in the wrong place, you have 3 days to get that person moved for free. You have 6 business days to get that person, 5 business days to get that person moved for $25. And if it's outside of that 5 business days, they don't have to approve it, but within the first 30 days, they generally will, but it will cost you $100 to move them. And if it's outside of 30 days, it ain't going to happen. They're not going to move them. They used to, but they won't do it anymore because Isagenix has gotten so big, they're just not going to do it anymore. Okay. So you've got, if somebody does it wrong, you've got some ability to move them, but you've got to get it done fast. So know that, right? That's an important thing. Okay. All right. Let me pull up my interview sheet here, and I apologize. If somebody else has it quicker, do it. I forgot to pull it up before, and I told Michael I was going to do it. So. Do you have one? Did you pull it up, Chris?
No, but you got it.
No, I didn't. I got it. I can get it. Hang on, guys. Sorry about that. I go into my, actually, let me do it from my phone. It's probably faster.
Brent, I got a question for you while you're
Okay.
looking for that.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
On your ISAPulse, when you see that somebody enrolled, one of your team members enrolled somebody new, do you message them from the ISAPulse, or do you, because on my ISAPulse, I'm only saying that one of my team members enrolled somebody, or do you just go in your back office, find out who it is, and then personally Facebook?
Correct. If I see somebody enrolled somebody, then when I click on their name in ISAPulse, it's going to tell me who enrolled that person, right? So I'm going to then be able to go down through, I'm going to be able to scan down through and find that person. So it might say that Kelly D enrolled this person, right? So Megan enrolled a new person, right? Mm-hmm. And then I see that, and I don't know Megan, let's say, and I look at on her thing, it says she was enrolled by Kelly D. Well, I'm going to find you, right? I'm going to scroll down to your spot, and then I'm going to find her, and then I'm going to look and see where she put the person. And I can tell if it's in the right spot because it's going to be either their bottom left or their bottom right. And if it's anything other than their outside bottom right or their outside bottom left, I know it's in the wrong spot.
Gotcha.
Okay. And you're a perfect example because pre-Isopulse, you put somebody in the wrong spot and I didn't catch it, and that's my fault. And that's the kind of thing that now we have the ability to see that and make that same mistake that I made, because Tracy and I have made all the mistakes. So I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of them. New associate. You have it? Where do you have it?
I can't type stuff if I do.
Hang on a second, guys. I apologize, guys, for not having the print it. Sorry.
Okay.
Hang on, guys. Sorry. We'll get it rock and roll. Anybody else have any other questions while Tracy's taking care of this? Nothing? Come on. Give me something. Nobody. All right. Fine. Hang on a second.
Brent, I don't have a question, but just a reminder, tomorrow night I'm doing a training for new associates to learn how to use your back office and show like where people go and answer questions.
That's right.
So everybody can jump on.
Teresa's going to do that training tomorrow. She's going to do it on this same Zoom number. So if you're new to the and you want to understand the back office better, Teresa is going to do some training on it, and I encourage you to be on there. What time, Teresa, are you doing that? And give the time Eastern Standard Time so everybody is on the same page.
Okay, well, 5:30 Arizona time, so that's what, 8:30 Eastern time?
Yeah, 5:30 AZ time would be correct. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, so I would tell you to be on that. Okay. All right. So, Michael, are you unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
All right, brother. Thanks for volunteering to be a part of this. So, the new associate, the new customer checklist. Okay, when you're going through this, guys, and I want you to know that I haven't always done one of these, and I should do better, right? So I'm learning as you are learning with this with me, but I'm telling you right now, the value of this is huge, and the reason is, I know that some people coach that it's okay to send people to your website to get enrolled. Okay. It's important to know this. In order to build a team, you need to know your team members. And in order to build a legacy for your business, you need to know who these people are. And I don't think you can do that by sending them to your website and letting them get enrolled on your website. Because I want them to know me. And I want them to know that I care about their enrollment. I want them to know that I can help them with some of the questions that they might have. And I want them to feel like that they can ask me questions because we've had, 15, 20-minute conversation on the phone. I truly believe that's an important aspect of this business versus just saying, yeah, go to my website and sign up. And when your stuff gets there, here's a link to follow, to watch. And I know that some of the big leaders and some very, very successful people coach that. It's just not my style. If it becomes yours, good for you. And if you can make it work, kudos to you. But I believe that a tighter knit team is a stronger team. And I think that if you know what your team's goals are and and the people feel comfortable enough to reach out to you, even if it's surface level stuff, that at least you're somebody they can reach out to. So from that aspect, I'm telling you that the associate checklist is a big deal because you will get to learn your person a little bit better, right? So when I'm going to go through with this, this first part of it's pretty easy. I'm just going to give, I'm going to have his name, his phone number, and his email, and you're going to write this stuff down. On a quick side note, when you go to enroll somebody, write the information down. Don't go onto your laptop or your computer and try to enroll somebody directly on your computer, because when you screw it up, because you will, and you put in the social security number wrong, or you hit the wrong button, or you click the wrong button, And now all of a sudden the person is going, why am I on this phone with you for an hour and a half to get this thing done? I just want my stuff, right? Write their information down, enter the information with them offline, and make sure you have all the information. So use your form to write everything down that you need and complete it with them offline, okay? It's going to make you look more professional and it's going to get done much quicker, and it's going to keep the person from being on the phone for an hour and a half, or 2 hours if the system goes down, something along those lines, when now all of a sudden you're having to ask them, oh, can you give me your social again? Can you give me your birth date again? Can you give me this? Can you give me your credit card number again? Write it down. Tear it up. Be good. Be a good steward of their information. Shred it, burn it, whatever. And then, now they're enrolled. Okay. So that's an important aspect. So I'm going to ask him his name, his information, communication, build a steady line of communication with your new customer. Keep track of the date of communication. And basically this is just saying when you're talking to them. Okay. What I coach and what I encourage you to do is contact the person on day one, contact them on day, and this is at minimum. Okay. This isn't your maximum numbers. This is your minimum contacts you should have with somebody. You should be contacting them day one. Hey, you got your stuff. Let's go over it. Excited for you. Let's get you started. You're going to contact them on day 4. Okay. Because that by day 4, day 5, they've kind of felt some weird effects, and you want to tell people to what to expect. If they don't know to expect that they are going to feel bloated, or they should feel gassy, or they should feel whatever else that their TMI are going to give you, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because all of a sudden they feel bad and they don't know why. And my comparison I give people regularly is I say, Michael, have you got a dog? Go with
Yeah.
it. Okay. What happens if you change your dog's dog food?
Nothing for our dogs, but sometimes I've heard it's got an adverse effect on the dogs.
Right. Because most dogs, right, or cats, animals, whatever, eat the same thing every single day. Okay. Most of them. When you change up an animal's food, then they have an adverse reaction. It's the same thing with people. People don't realize, if I try to tell you that you eat the same thing every day, you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, that you don't eat the same thing every day, because some days you eat at McDonald's, and some days you eat at Burger King, and some days you eat at Dunkin' Donuts. That is still the same thing every day. That's crap. Okay? So when you're eating that same thing every day, and I change up your diet and I give you a high level of nutrition, and you're going to start consuming that 3 or 4 days in a row, you are going to have some reactions to that you may not be aware of. Okay. And that's what I tell people, right? I tell them straight up, they're going to have an issue with their first, 4 or 5 days. They may have an issue first 4 or 5 days. Don't be surprised if you do. Okay. So again, day 1, day 4, you're going to reach out to them again at day 10, day 14, day 21. And at about day 14 and day 21, you need to be talking to them about setting up their auto ship if you didn't do that initially. And you need to be talking to them about what their new product lines are going to be. Okay? Those are the things you're going to want to talk to people about at day 14 and 21. Let's set up your auto ship. Let's figure out what you need. What are you running out of? Okay, 14 and 21. Those are important dates. All right. New customer order. I'm going to write down his order date. I'm going to talk to him about auto ship. I'm going to talk to him very openly about auto ship. I'm going to explain Isagenix rules on auto ship, that you don't have to have it, but that if you do have it, here are the benefits. And if you want, we can set it up for just $1 to a Make-A-Wish, or we can set it up for more product if you want. I'm going to be very, very open about the auto ship, and I want to make sure they understand that it's fully editable right up until the day that it ships. Okay, so you want to make sure that they understand that. Don't try to make it like it's some secret thing. Right? Don't make it weird. Step 1. Let's see. So send them a welcome email. I can tell you that I haven't done that always. I did that at first. I send more welcome texts, honestly. I'll take a picture of their order number and shoot that over to them with their member ID number and their password. Okay. I don't know if all of you know this, but if you go to log in your back office, if you forget your member ID number, or I'm sorry, if you forget your username, all you need is your member ID number. Okay, your member ID number and your password will get you logged into an account. So if I don't know Michael's, if I don't remember what Michael told me to use for his member ID or for his username, but I know what his password is, then I can still access his account by putting in his member ID number and the password. Okay. Send them the contacts. I'm going to find out, and this is part of the goal setting. I know what Michael's looking for, right? He's looking for additional energy. So, and he's really worried about product. So I'm going to send him www.isaproduct.com because that way he can look up his products. And I'm going to send him information about Team Isogenics and some of the energy issues and some of the energy messages, right? Because that's what he was wanting. That's what he asked me to send him. Okay. Again, that's an important aspect of finding that out. Set a date and a time, right? So I'm going to talk to Michael about when can I call you back once your product gets here. Michael, when you get your product, do not open that box without calling me. That's what I'm going to tell him. Again, I know that there's some big builders that will tell me that I'm wrong, but so make sure that you set that time and set that understanding that when they get their product, you want them to call you. They won't always do it. We just had somebody just recently that purchased the business builder pack, right? And I said, hey, look, call me so we can go over it. And I've reached out to them 2 or 3 times, and I know they're using the product because they're having results already, but we haven't developed that trust level yet to make that happen. And that's okay. We're going to continue to work on that. But just know that you may not get the response back that you want, but just know that you should be reaching out for them, okay? Sorry, Michael, this isn't much of an interview, but I'm just kind of going through the buttons here. Optional, include the auto associate on the team call, 3-way calls. So what we want to do is make sure that let's say that Angela referred me to Michael, and that's how I enrolled. That's how Michael got enrolled, was through Angela. I'm going to make this conversation a 3-way call. And I know some of you, Diane had one the other day that the team called, the 3-way call didn't work out, but I set it up with the intention that she was to be on the call with me in order to make that connection happen. And the reason you do this is, had Diane been able to be on the call, but it was an issue with our 3-way setup, she would have got to hear my presentation to her person, so that when her person says, well, he told me this, she knows what I said. Okay, that's the one thing. The next thing is that she knows how I present. And that goes to that whole 45-second presentation thing where you're going down and making sure that the people that you enroll know how to present the way you present. And that way you get some consistency and some repetitiveness in that manner, okay? Make sure that they're aware of the team calls. Make sure that they're always aware that these team calls take place on Tuesdays. You can invite anybody here. Make sure they're aware of Great Nutrition as a page they can be put into. Make sure they know about XHP, and make sure they know about Team Shady. I'm going to tell you that I don't care if somebody is interested in the business or not. I am going to tell you that you should be putting people into the Team Shady business page. And here's why. Let's say that Angela is, or Michael, since Michael, we're working with you on this. Let's say that Michael is fully on board with the Team Shady business page, right? And he enrolls Diane. And he's not sure if Diane's into the business page or not, but he knows that I've told everybody to put everybody in the business page, so he puts her in there. But Diane's not sure about it. So when she goes to enroll, Tracy, she's going, well, I really don't want to put her in there because she may not be interested. Well, she doesn't know that she's not interested because she never asked her. Okay? So if you get into the habit of always putting people in there, they can take themselves out, right? That's not a big deal. But if you don't put them in there, you may be okay with it, but they may never know that they should have been in there. Or the person that, let's say the person that you enroll, Michael, you didn't put Diane in there, but she enrolls Tracy, and Tracy's all about the business, but Diane has no idea that there's a business page available because you didn't put her in there, right? So I'm going to tell you that you should always do it. Make your own decisions, but you should always put people on the business page because they should know that it's available to them. Okay. Again, it's a repetitive thing. It's teaching repetition. Michael, did you have a question or did you just hit your?
No, I was just going to say that I've done that. I've added everybody that I've enrolled onto the business page. And what I find is that because there's so much information and they're not, they don't know yet that they want to be in the business, that it's overwhelming for them. So a lot of them take themselves out. And then I'm like, what'd you do that for?
No, that's okay. No, that's perfectly fine. I expect them to take themselves out, honestly. Okay. Because it is too much. But now they know it's there. So when they decide they want to do it, then you just say, hey, look, do you want to be put back in there? Right? Because it's about repetition. Because when you put Diane in there and then she takes herself out, she knows it's available so that when she's talking to Tracy and Tracy says, I'd be kind of interested in the business, Diane now knows, oh, well, there's this page. I'm not in it, but I can probably get you in there. Let me get a hold of Michael and he'll put you in. Right? Because again, you don't know what the next person's going to want.
When I put somebody in, they take themselves out. I can't put them back in.
Yes, you can. You go to the side to where it says email them a request, and you can send them an emailed request to join, and they have to accept it via email.
Okay, so they got to so I send them the link, and then they can put themselves back in.
That's correct.
I can't add them. I got it.
Yep, absolutely. And that's a great way to do it, okay? And if you want to do it that way, that's fine too. Like if you don't feel comfortable just throwing them in there, which I think you should tell everybody what you're going to put them in there. But if you want, just send them the email address, at least send them the email opportunity so that they can choose to go into the page. I would put them in there and say, hey, look, I'm going to put you in the business page. You may or may not be interested. You can take yourself out or you can mute yourself from the conversations. But I would tell you to put them in there just so they're aware. Okay. And again, so that your person knows that they can put the next person, knows that they can put the next person in, right? It's that repetition thing. Okay, so make sure they're aware of the team calls, the Facebook pages that we do. This talks about Instagram. I'm not an Instagram person, but I know that some of you are, so do that. I need to become more, but I'm just not yet. And then make sure that they're aware of the different ways to access information. One of the ways that I'm going to tell you guys to always do this, because I always do it, is show the person this simple thing. If you don't know this, write it down. If you go to Google and you go into the search bar on Google and you type in ISA FYI, ISA FYI, space, any topic, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart health, whatever it is you want, you will get all kinds of information directly from Isagenix. It works better than going to isafyi.com and clicking on the search engine. If you go to isafyi.com and you click in the search box, you will get less results than you will if you go to Google and use ISAFYI space the topics. And the reason is because Google's search engines are so well developed, it literally searches all of the ISAFY stuff in I don't know why, it's just better. So it is what it is. I'm going to tell you that is how I get, every time I see a question if you ever see me post a link to answer somebody's question, what I've done is I've taken their question, I've gone to isafyi.com, or not isafyi.com, but I've gone to Google, typed in ISAFYI and whatever their topic is, and I've copied that link and then reposted it. That is the best way to get information if somebody has a question about whatever it is. All the TMI questions that we get, that's where you get the answers from, okay? All right, go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody had a question. All right, so the next one is, I'm gonna ask Michael, are you interested in weight loss, more energy, performance, healthy aging, or wealth creation? Don't forget to ask about wealth creation. Don't forget. I posted this the other day in Top Leaders. There's a lot of people out there dying a slow death from bad finances, right? It's painful. We've been there. Tracy and I still haven't done our video, and because quite honestly, it's not because we are procrastinating for it. It's because it's a painful conversation to talk about, right? The financial side of a slow financial death hurts, and not being able to make a bill payment or not wanting to answer a telephone call or any of those kind of things is a painful thing. And it's sometimes more painful than being overweight or under energy or needing more performance. It can be equally or more important. They won't believe you, right? Because they've lost the belief a lot of times, but make sure that they're aware that it is real and that things can happen. And don't talk big numbers, talk $400 or $500 a month. How would $400 or $500 extra a month change your life? Okay. Would it help make a bill payment? Would it help make a credit card payment? Ask those questions. It's an important question to ask. Okay. Introduce the new customer to their back office and replicate their website. Again, huge comment. Make sure that you go into their back office and show them how to edit their auto ship. If that's all you show them how to do, that's a big one. Log in. Michael, log in your back office. Go to isogenics.com. Top right-hand corner, click Associate Login. See that information I just sent you on your username and password? Enter that information. Now, this is what you're going to see, and tell them what they're going to see. Tell them to click Order. Tell them to click Team. Make sure that that becomes something that they know how to deal with so that when they do have to deal with it, it's not weird or voodoo or whatever, right? You make sure that they know how to access their back office. Let's see, teach a customer how to update their auto ship. That's a big one. And you guys need to know how to do that, right? I mean, I can walk somebody through updating their auto ship. Does everybody in here know how to change your credit card under your auto ship? If you don't know how to change your credit card under your auto ship, because it's a pain in the butt, quite honestly, the way it's set up to do it, then you need to know how to do it. You've got to go into auto ship and you've got to change the credit card. You've got to add the new credit card first, and then by adding the new credit card, you can delete the old one. Okay, that's the only way to delete an old credit card. If your credit card number changes, your issue date or something like that changes, the only way to change that is to put in your new credit card so that you can delete the old one. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to ask, you can't split up your order at all, from what I understand.
That's correct.
Okay, so because I got the Isogenics card and then I got the card that I started with. So unless I know that I can cover everything that's on my Isogenics card, I got to use my old card.
Yep.
My Isogenics card because, it's just better that way. So
yeah, they used to allow you to split a payment, and they don't allow that anymore. And the reason for that is, the reason they told us anyway, was it was a security issue. They didn't want to have for somebody to have the ability to split the payment, and there's something to do with a security issue on the way that was the way that the software handled that information. And I don't know exactly how it all worked out. I just know that's what they told us. Okay. So you cannot, you can't do it. The other one thing you can do is you can transfer money onto you can go get a Visa card from Walgreens, Walmart, whatever. You can load that and you can use that card to pay. So that is one option that people can have, but that's the only thing I can tell you on that. Okay. All right. Complete the customer. We did that. And then referral. So let's talk about referrals. When you have somebody who says they don't want to do the business, and that's completely normal. Michael, we'll actually have a conversation. Michael, you don't want to do the business, right? So that's the direction I want you to take this. So Michael, I understand you're not interested in doing the business. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I just want to do the product.
Okay, outstanding. So here's what's going to happen. You're gonna love the product. I'm sure of that, because I'm gonna stay in touch with you and we're gonna coach you through this. When you have people ask you what you're doing, would you mind at least referring them to me?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so when you refer them to me because they don't know me, would you mind if I got you on the call with that person so that you and me and them are all talking on the same, like a three-way call? Would that be okay, since you're using it and you know them?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, perfect. If they enroll, or if they're interested in enrolling, do you mind because it helps me, do you mind if I enroll them under you? You'll make a few bucks. You'll make, you might make $100 or a couple $100 if I do it this way, but it actually helps me. So do you mind if you refer somebody to me, if I put them under you so that you make a couple bucks?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So you don't have to do the business. I'm not going to ask you to do the business, but just know that if you refer somebody to me, I want to put them under you because it helps me, and you're also going to make some money.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. And that's how I answer that question. I'm going to tell them straight up, I will deal with it. You send them to me. You don't have to do anything. I know you're busy. I know you're a busy, busy person and you don't have time for this, but this is all I do. Okay. And if it's not all you do, then this is all I want to do. Right. So when you tell them that, and that's also how I get around if somebody has an issue with their social security number, by the way, that's the exact same conversation I would have with that is, would you mind because it helps me, would you mind if I enroll them under you? They're going to pay you. And when they pay you, if you make over $600, which you may or may not, if you make over $600, then you're going to get a 1099. And that's the reason that I need it. Is that cool?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Because most people just want to understand why they need it. Right. Now, the other reason is, and Tracy uses this all the time, is Isagenix wants to make sure that people aren't out enrolling stop signs in their dogs and their pets. So they want to make sure they have a high heartbeat. So they ask for the social security number. So because we're a very compliant company, we are a multi-billion-dollar company. We don't want anybody trying to, sleaze through the system. So we ask for that because of those two reasons. Okay. And that's what we're going to ask on. Okay. So that's how I'm going to go through that, the first part of that, guys. And then I'm going to go through the new customer sheet. So real quick, Michael will blast this out because it's already set 15 after. So Michael, are you more interested in weight loss, energy, performance, healthy aging, or is there some other reason that you're looking at it? And go ahead and answer a question for me.
I'm in it for weight loss and energy.
Okay. And why do you want it for weight? Like what would weight loss do for you?
It'd probably make me better at my job, it'd help my health, so I can be around for my family longer.
Okay. And in the interest of time, what I'm going to tell you guys is go down that road. Okay. Go deeper down that road. It would help with his job. Michael, how many days last year did you have to take off because of health related issues?
A lot.
You don't have to tell me that, but okay. So if it was a bunch, then that's a pretty expensive thing to have to take that much time off, isn't it?
Yes.
How much money do you think that cost you to have to take that much time off? Again, you don't have to answer that. Just get that deep with them, okay? Because when you're talking to them in that way, you're establishing an understanding of value, okay? A value to them both mentally, physically, and honestly, financially. Because Michael's telling me that he's had to take a bunch of time off. So when we talk about the price, when we get to the price, I'm going to say, if it saved you 2 days a week or two days a month of taking work off, would it be worth it? Right? If this happened, right? So you want to talk to them about that when you're talking about money. All right. Make sure that you get them registered for the IsaBody Challenge. I'm going to keep blasting through this. So I'm going to get him registered for the IsaBody Challenge. I'm going to tell him why it's important. I'm going to show him that he can get $200 with a free product. And I'm going to have him rock that out. I'm going to make sure that he knows that Isagenix is never going to share his pictures anywhere ever without his full written consent. Okay, so that won't even be an issue, right? And I'm going to talk to him I'm going to ask him who is his support team. Mom, dad, sister, aunt, uncle. You may find that he has none. You may find that he's telling me that his sister thinks it's stupid and his wife has no desire to even hear about it. And his parents think that he's an idiot. And there's nobody that's ever going to help him or support him in any way. Those are the people that need to be connected to XHP and Great Nutrition, because he's going to tell me that, and I'm going to say, well, welcome to the team, brother, because I have got a huge support team for you. About 45,000 in one page and a couple thousand in another. I am going to get you plenty of support, and I am here to help you. Okay? And that may be the first time that anybody's told him that. So make sure that you know what their support team looks like. Okay? Is there anyone else that you'd like to join the journey? And I'm going to go into the fact that if they have a couple people do this with them, they can make it a team event from the get-go, and they will have more accountability and they'll have more success by accountability with two friends than they will have from me asking them what's going on. Okay. Michael, if you got a couple friends that want to do this with you, I'm telling you, brother, I know you want to wait until you've been using it for 60 days so that you can tell them your great success. But if you've got two people that you think you'd really like to do this with you, You guys can you can do it together. You can hold a little challenge. And I've even gone so far as to say, look, if you get 2 people and you do it together, I'll even make you guys all throw like $25 in a piece. I'll match whatever you throw in, and you guys can have a little contest for who does the best. Right? So maybe I throw in $25, you throw in $25, and your 2 friends throw in $25, and now you've got a little kitty there for who does the best in the first 30 days. Right? So that's something that you can add on to that gives them a reason to find up 2 people that maybe they want to try to do their own little weight loss challenge between a couple people. And then it goes on to the last question is, would you like to know how to get your products paid for? Whether they answer that question yes or no, I'm still going to tell them you plus 2, them plus 2. Okay. And that's the end of the conversation. That's the end of it. Okay. This kind of went a little long, guys, so I apologize, but it's an important topic. And if you go through this and you ask them these questions in this level of detail, you will have developed a whole new level. I would venture to say there's probably people out there that have got spouses that they haven't had this level of conversation with in a while. Okay. So have a real conversation with them, right? It's important. And it's important for your success, and it's important for their success. So that's it. Any questions on any of that, guys? Michael, thanks for playing along, brother. I know I was talking more, but I knew we were running out of time, so I kind of.
Oh, it's good.
Okay. All right. I am going to wrap it up. Again, Teresa's doing a call tomorrow. For those of you that want to be on it, 5:30 p.m. Arizona time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's going to do a call on the basics. So I encourage you to be on that call if you want to go through all the basics and the back office. So she's going to cover a lot of different things in the back office and talk about those things. And I want to also encourage you guys, and I told Teresa this when she asked about doing this call, I encourage you all to do these calls. And if anybody here wants to take up a day that you want to make a call, let me know. You're welcome to use this same Zoom page to host that call. Only thing that has to happen, and you don't even have to have me on there, other than initially I need to be on in order to assign you as a host so that you can record it. Okay. I will tell you that because Teresa tried this with me on another one, she tried to record it and tried to send it to me, and the files are usually too big to send that way. So you're going to have to figure out your own way to download it and maybe save it in your own YouTube is the best way to do it. Save it in your own YouTube, and then you can send the link. Okay, that's the best way to do it. All right. Any other questions this evening? Anything at all? All right, outstanding. Thank you guys very much, and I encourage you to have a fantastic week. Oh, launch week. First week of April starts on April 4th. Make sure, and I'm going to challenge all of you, I really want you to do this. I would really love to see everybody on this thing right now host a launch party event at their house, at their apartment, someplace. I don't care if it's at a park, whatever it is that you do, I want to encourage you to do one. It's worth it, guys, and it's practice. It's practice, practice, practice. Okay, so I encourage you all to do it. All right, so I'm going to kill the recording.